Hello everyone and welcome to Time Capsule here on the Game Zone Quick Hotfix, the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years of gaming and speedrun our way through popular or influential games released in a particular year. I am your host, Moo Operative, and thank you so much for joining us. Tonight we are going back to the year 2008 for a second round with Fallout 3 and Mirror's Edge later, but before we get into those games, let's get into some announcements. First of all, SGDQ 2021 online will be taking place July 4th through the 11th. Game submissions are now closed, but you can tweet us at GamestoneQuick on Twitter and tell us what you are hoping will make the cut. If you're interested in volunteering for SGDQ 2021 online, volunteer submissions are open now until April 23rd. You can go to GamestoneQuick.com to find out how you can submit your volunteer application and help with the event. And if you're watching this on YouTube from the future and would like to support our live content, please consider checking out our Twitch channel. That's at twitch.tv/GDQ. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. So please consider using your Prime Gaming account to subscribe to the GDQ Twitch channel. And that will do it for announcements for now. Joining me right now for a speed run of Fallout 3 All Quests is LMW and Tomato Angus. Silent G, hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone, welcome to All Quests for Fallout 3. I'm glad to be joined here with Tomato today. And yeah, I'd say we could just go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, sure, whenever you're ready.
All right. Time starts now.
Good luck.
Right off the bat, you're going to see my screen go black a couple of times there. That's just me quick saving and quick loading with my left mouse and my right mouse button. That's how we skip dialogue and clip through walls.
Yeah, so and then for stats right here, we're going to put 4 into strength, 1 into perception, 10 into endurance, 10 into charisma, 5 into intelligence, 1 into agility, and 9 into luck. And that's just for quest stuff later on. Mostly we need a lot of charisma. Right here, LMW's doing a strat called Truck Push, where he takes this truck and puts it on the ground in front of this door. And once our dad, Liam Neeson, opens this door and stands on it, he's going to quick save, quick load twice. And then he'll be able to push Liam Neeson into this trigger spot right here. And that will make Liam Neeson talk right away, hopefully. And then, yeah, there we go. We can just open the door and not have to wait for him to talk. So pretty cool. You can just kind of be a hulking baby and push them. And then right here we have the birthday cutscene. And as we always say, we're speedrunners, so we want to avoid social interaction. So by quick saving, quick loading a ton, you get to just leave your birthday party early. And right here, LMW quit to the main menu real quick to make this tech right here a bit smoother. This is a tech called stop hopping, where if you just hold W and then jump, and then in the air, you flick your mouse, and then when you land, you let go of W, and then repeat the process. You move pretty quickly. You move like about 1.5 to 1.6 times faster than normal. You shot Jonas right there to skip a dialogue between him and Liam Neeson. Now just shooting these targets real quick to get through this big game hunter segment and taking out the rad roach. And then right here, he's going to talk to Liam Neeson and then push him real quick, and then quick save, quick load to skip a dialogue with Jonas. There's a lot that goes on in this early part, so we're going to be breezing through a lot of things, but there will be more time to explain things later. But yeah, so stop hopping you'll see a lot in the early parts of the game, and then it's going to kind of go out the window. But yeah, it's pretty much just flicking your mouse and letting go of W as you land and jumping again, and then holding W as you're in the air. It's pretty cool. And then right here, another quick save, quick load in a moment to skip one line of dialogue. And then in any percent, we clip out of this room and then exit the vault right away. But there's a quest that we have to actually take the goat to accomplish, and as the title of the run indicates, we need all the quests. So we have to take the goat, but we kind of just bully our teacher. We don't have to take it. And there we tagged explosives, lockpick, and speech. Explosives for a reason that will be coming up sooner rather than later, and then lockpick and speech for reasons later on. And then here we wake up even more years later. Get woken up by Amada. A lot's happened. Our dad is gone and Jonas is dead. And we're going to exit the vault right here by just clipping out of bounds. What happens when you fall out of bounds in the Fallout games is something called COC, where every area in the game, they're called cells. Every area has its own predetermined COC point, and when you fall far enough out of bounds, you spawn at that. It's just to prevent you from falling infinitely. So we COC'd out of bounds to escape quickly. And right here, LMW is going to clip
Ooh.
out of bounds, and then we'll be out of the vault pretty much.
All right, so now we are going to get our missile launcher for a very complicated speed glitch that I definitely cannot explain on my own, so I'm going to leave it to Tomato to explain this speed glitch.
So this is the fun glitch that a lot of people know about called speed cripple. It's very notorious in the speedrunning community, especially the Fallout 1 for just how fickle it can be. So there's a hard way to do this and a slow way to do this. And the slow way is what we're doing right now because it gives us a missile launcher, which we need throughout the run. So it makes most sense to do it in this run. But right here, LMW is going to wait for a bit to get a specific merchant to spawn named Lucky Harith. And Lucky Harith has a missile launcher on him. And we're going to do a glitch called ghost duping, which I think we'll explain in a moment. But pretty much it gives us infinite store, or a good amount of store credit, even though we don't have anything to sell. And we're able to then buy the missile and missile launcher off of him. And then after equipping them, right here, LMW is going to make a quick save and then shoot the ground to explode his legs. At the moment that he explodes his legs, he's going to quick load. And if he gets the timing just right, then the game will heal him and give him his speed back from being crippled after he loads. And he'll be moving at 160% speed rather than the 40% speed of being crippled or the 100% speed of running normally. So we're now moving at 160 movement speed. We've successfully... We disarmed the bomb in this, right?
Yes, we just did.
Yeah, we disarmed the bomb with our explosives, with our skill, and now we go talk to Moira, and she has this whole long, drawn-out quest of helping her write a book, the Wasteland Survival Guide, but instead we can just be a little mean and pass a speech check here to bully her into not doing it. But it's I think it's like in the 30s to 40%. Let's see. It is a 40% speech check, first try, very good. And that right there completes the Wasteland Survival Guide quest. We don't have to do any of this stuff with killing mole rats or anything. We're gonna leave Megaton now. We're pretty much done here. So as we leave, we have to speak with Lucas Sims, and we're now pretty much out in the wild to start doing all of the quests. So
yeah.
I was gonna ask, how is all quests defined, LMW?
What do you mean by defined?
Like what constitutes a quest in this run?
A quest is just like a, I guess like a main storyline mission that like takes place in like different areas of the game. People are gonna want you to do different things for you, and you're just gonna basically do it for them no matter what it is, because we're trying to complete every single quest in the game.
Yeah. And then this game does have a lot of, it has a lot of quests, and a lot of them are unmarked. But for this run, we're mostly focusing on the ones that will show up in the Pip-Boy. In the Pip-Boy, there's an actual stat for, it's like a quest counter for how many you complete. And our goal is to get it to 30. That's like that's the highest number you can get to appear in there. So that's what this quest is doing. Right here, LMW made a quick save outside of the Super Duper Mart real quick. And what kept entering and quick loading until a Nuka-Cola Quantum spawned inside, because we need that for later. And we're going to item dupe that one Nuka-Cola Quantum to have over 30. But we'll get to that later. That's where ghost duping will kind of get explained. Just remember that ghost duping was the thing we did with Lucky Harith, and that's how we got enough caps to buy the missile launcher. So keep that in the back of your mind. Where are we heading right now, LMW?
We are headed to Dukov. We are going to kill him for one of his keys. We're going to be needing that for a quest later on in the run. But right now I'm going to show off a pretty cool glitch, and it is called Time Stop. Now, basically, when I pull out my Pip-Boy, and you click your right mouse to set a marker, but we quickly pull it up. And at the same time as we press F3, which opens like the map on your Pip-Boy, you spam F3 and right click, and it brings your menu down. And in that happening, it's freezing the game, because when you open your Pip-Boy, time freezes. But we're manipulating that to where we can actually move around when we are not in the Pip-Boy through that glitch. So
Yeah, it's a really cool way to freeze time, and it's really important and well, not super important, but it's super handy in this run at times because with speed cripple, we want to be walking as much as possible because the speed cripple speed only applies when you're like touching the ground and moving. It doesn't apply to swimming. But when you time stop, the water has no collision and you walk underneath it. So a couple times in this run, not too many, but a few times we're going to time stop and then walk along the bottom of the ocean like we're in that Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and keep our time stop or keep our speed cripple speed. So it's a really minor time loss doing the time stop glitch. Then you save several seconds from being able to walk full speed rather than have to swim. But yeah, so
Um,
we go ahead.
yeah. And so we will do this again. Sometimes we do this to skip dialogue triggers as well. Later on in the run, we will do this to like skip a little time where we stop and this guy wants to talk to us, but we're just gonna walk right up to him through time stop. But that time will come soon enough. Soon enough.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little glitch. I wish that it got more use in the Fallout 3 and New Vegas runs.
I agree with that.
Pretty cool. Like right here, we're using it, and here you can see we're able to walk on the bottom of the water, save some extra time. Pretty cool. And I did see someone in chat ask if there are mutually exclusive quests in this game. Fallout 3 actually doesn't have any of those. Those were really brought back in New Vegas. So this run, it's all quests. If you're doing this run in New Vegas, though, it's referred to as max quests because there is a maximum number of quests you can do because at some point you get barred from working with certain faction.
And there are a lot of quests in that game.
Yeah, oh my god. So this run, as an estimate, about how long will it be, LMW?
We're on pretty good pace right now, but if anything goes wrong, we're probably around 120 or 123.
Gotcha. And for reference, the New Vegas all quests record is, or max quest record is just over 2 hours, and then if you include DLC, it's 3.5 hours. So it's pretty beefy compared to the Fallout 3 one because of all those factions. Right here, we just did a little cool mailbox hop. That's way harder than it looks.
Hey,
That
who
jump
It
has
is.
no business being anywhere near as hard as it is. Main reason why we're right here is to discover Big Town for later. We're going to be coming back here for a quest, and we're now making our way to Erethu. So in Erethu, there's a quest called Blood Ties that involves some vampires. And yeah, right now we're going to go there, and we're going to do time stop when we get there to walk up to a dude because he's going to shoot at us. Does he shoot at us, or is there a mine?
Oh, there's a mine.
Ah, okay. So yeah, we run past the mine, get up to him quickly, so he doesn't talk to us while we're far away, and then we're gonna do some investigating.
Yeah, I'm gonna solve a little bit of a murder mystery.
Yeah. Isn't Erethu named by like the word "careful" or something being crossed out?
I have no clue, honestly.
Maybe
But
that's
this
the
is where we're
whole
going to be
name.
using time stop to skip that mine blowing up, actually. Around, I'd say right here, there's a little trigger. It's going to stop us. And, but we're just going to skip right by that and talk
Hang on, you're not
right to
one of-
him.
Now what the hell are you doing?
We're going to pass a speech check here, and then we're going to start some investigating.
So pretty much what's going on in Erethu is
What the hell are you doing in here?
some people have gone missing, I believe, and
I want
we're kind of just doing wellness checks. And in the last house, we're gonna find a grisly scene. To put it like grisly scene by 2008 standards, which we're in the
nice to see a
2008
friend.
mindset right now for this run. And for now, it's just gonna be like, oh my gosh, what happened here? But in the future, we found out that it's vampires, so that's interesting. Vampires, yeah. I don't
What did
even
they
know
tell
what
you?
the actual lore explanation is for. There we go. We just pretty much told them what we found in the King family residence. We can now leave Erethu, and when we jump off the overpass right here, we're going to spam quick save quick load. So quick save quick load not only does it like clip through walls, it lets you kind of glide like that. The way that that works is every time you quick save, quick load, your momentum gets reset. So if you're falling and you're about to hit the ground, you can quick save, quick load, and your momentum gets reset to 0, and you can then survive any fall. If you spam quick save, quick load while holding W, then every time you load, you're going to move forward a little bit from holding W, and you're also going to be resetting your momentum every time, so you can slowly glide forward if you spam it fast enough. Because like your momentum's getting reset. It's pretty cool. It's like you're like a little sugar glider. I like it. And
So we're
now,
coming up to Big Town. Oh no, wait, no, this is not Big Town. This is Paradise Falls. Sorry, my fault.
yeah. So
But,
what are we doing here?
Yeah, we're going to get a quest and discover the location for later. This guy is going to want us to round up some slaves for him, but we're going to be doing something different with every single one of them.
Hold it right there.
You will see what happens later on.
Yes.
Oh, I did the wrong dialogue. Uh-oh.
Like,
Oh, there we go. Did I get it? Ooh. I get the quest. Come back.
you again.
So yeah, we're getting both the fast travel point and this quest, so then we can work on this as we're exploring the Commonwealth. We'll be doing some. Wait, is the Commonwealth is Fallout 4? What am I saying? The Capital Wasteland. There we go. As we explore the Capital Wasteland, we'll be knocking some things off of this quest. Same with a lot of quests. We'll be kind of doing little pieces here and there. There are only a handful of occasions where we're kind of just gonna brute force all the way through a quest all in one go. But yeah, the beginning of this run is a lot of walking, a lot of setting stuff up for the back half of the run.
Exactly.
So where are we heading now?
We are going to the minefield to kill an old man named Arkansas. Very, very civil of us, you know. But I don't even really. I'm not even sure like what quest he completes. I mean, do you know?
Let me see. You know what I think can help is Arkansas. No, not this. I'm pretty sure he has something to do with the Paradise Falls quest we did. I thought we were.
Maybe he
Aren't we
does.
supposed to enslave him? No. Wait, that's a
No. Yeah, no. There's 3 people and he's not one of them. I know that by looking at the quest list.
state. Gotcha.
There's too many quests to keep track of in this game, you know.
The Wikipedia does say he can be enslaved with the Mesmetron, and he's involved in Strictly Business and Wasteland Survival Guide. So he's in there somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have to take him out. We're going to take him out rather than enslave him. Good old Arkansas. He was always, when I played through this, I would always go to the minefield right away and then you set the game on like a harder difficulty and then just disarm all the mines, even though I'm not sure if that actually impacts the XP you get, but yeah. We're gonna go up
Alright,
here
and
with our
here he
10
is.
10mm.
Bye-bye. So now we're leaving minefield. And we are off to actually go grab the most powerful weapon in the game, the Alien Blaster. It basically hits everything in one shot, except for a couple of enemies.
Are you going to be playing by any arbitrary rules when you go pick up the Alien Blaster or no?
I'm just gonna pick up as much ammo as I can and get out of there.
Gotcha. You're not gonna teabag the alien?
Should I do it? I don't know.
At least one tap.
All right, man.
But yeah, so the Alien Blaster is pretty much going to serve as our main weapon for the rest of the run. It's just that busted. It's just one shots absolutely everything.
There's a couple things in the game it doesn't one shot, which is confusing because I
corrected.
feel like the whole point of that is to one shot everything. Maybe not. I don't know.
It's the super mutant sometimes will take 2, right?
I think that's Death Claws actually.
Ah,
All right, fine. Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
sweet. We're set. Let's
Teabag
run.
the alien, got the blaster, and now we are off to discover Vault 92. We're gonna collect We're going to collect something in there for another quest later on. Like Tomato said, the beginning of this is mainly just a setup for the end. Quests are going to start flying by like that. Like it's,
Yeah, the,
trust
the
me, it's
last
going to
like
get interesting.
30 minutes of this run is so hectic. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
So other than all quests, what other categories for Fallout 3 have you ran?
I have run any percent all bobbleheads. I've dabbled in glitchless a little bit. Most people don't know that actually. I actually tried glitchless for a little bit. Not a fun category, I will say that right now. But any percent all bobbleheads. I'm currently trying to learn all DLCs, but I was running any percent for around a year, and I am tied with the world record right now. So
Woo! Yeah,
Very
LMW!
nice.
Let's go.
so what
Let's
happened?
get it.
Okay. I tried to bind my weapon there and got distracted. All right.
Nice. So we just picked up the Vault 92 fast travel location, right?
Yes, we did, and now we are off to discover Oasis, which is full of which is basically a cult who worships a tree, a living tree. It's very strange, but we will get to that quest as well later on. We're just discovering that right now for the fast travel, and then we'll go
And-
straight back to Vault 92 to collect whatever we need. And we're
Yeah,
off
and
again.
normally Oasis is really buried up there. It's buried way in the far like north center of the map, and it's hard to find if you don't know where it is if you're playing casually. But rather than doing all the hiking and stuff through all the canyons, we're going to find it in a bit of a different way. How far away are we from that cliff?
Oh no, we're really close. Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, we're getting there. This
don't
next
wanna get
clip
too ahead
that
of
I'm about to do is it's a pretty complicated rock clip. I'm actually gonna make a hard save because sometimes you can clip under the rock here.
Yeah.
So
This clip on its own is pretty tricky, but even before this clip was found, it was so
There we
hard to
go.
clip through here.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then when we're walking out of bounds here, it doesn't really look like it, but there's a lot of invisible walls and jagged textures that you can't really walk into or through. So we're kind of keeping to the perimeter here. And once we walk up here, we discover the fast travel location. Then we'll fast travel back to Vault 92 and do pick up something there for the quest.
we're also gonna
right
get
when
a
we-
fission battery here.
Yeah.
We will need that for a quest later on to repair an elevator.
Yeah. That's really far at the end. That's like,
Yeah.
that's one of the last quests we do is the one with the elevator. But
Yeah.
inside we're going to clip out of bounds and like access a door, and then we'll clip out of bounds again. And then LMW is going to fall between rooms, and he's going to be in third person, and you're able to interact with things in third person through walls. It's called the third person interaction glitch. So right there, LMW grabbed an item called the Soil Stradivarius, which is an actual real-world item. It's a violin. It's a one-of-a-kind violin. Don't know what it's doing in a vault in DC, but it's there. But yeah, so we just got that. That's for another quest later on. Do you know which quest that's for?
It's for that guy in is it? I want to say it's for that guy in Rivet City.
Yeah, Abraham Washington.
Maybe. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Abraham
I believe it's
Washington,
him,
my
yeah.
guy. We'll get there later, though. That's when we do a Nick Cage impression. All right. So, where are we going to now?
We are off to the Republic of Dave. We're gonna kill someone else. Look at that. We're
Yeah,
just killing
Republic
people
of
left and
Dave.
right here, man.
Exactly.
But we're gonna take one of his keys as well. Like Dukov. For one of the quests, we need a series of keys that we're gonna give to a ghoul later on in the run, and his is the second of 3 keys, I believe it is, that we're gonna collect.
Oh. Also, with the Republic of Dave, there is a quest there called Election Day, but it's an unmarked quest. And by killing Dave to get his key, we automatically fail Election Day. And for like part of the all quests rule set is you need to actually complete the quest and have them show up in your Pip-Boy as complete. And failing quests do not count as that. It's a completely separate thing. So if this were an actual side quest, we wouldn't necessarily be able to just kill Dave right away and take his key. We'd have to actually complete Election Day and then kill Dave or pickpocket him. But because we don't care about failing Election Day, because it is an unmarked quest. It doesn't show up in the Pip-Boy like quest counter. Then we're fine with just killing them. Then we had to make sure to run far enough away and then fast travel to the mine.
That was a gold split, by the way.
Oh, sweet. Congrats.
Thank you.
I was gonna say it looked real silky smooth.
Yeah, no, it was good for sure. I'm actually using something new that I feel like saves time. I don't know for sure if it does, but I have the pit DLC enabled right now. You might have seen the pop up at the beginning of the run. That might have confused a couple of people in the community, but so basically when I was learning all DLCs, I was doing the pit and I did a run once and I forgot to turn it off, obviously, and the merchant spawns were like further ahead of time, I guess you could say. Like you only have to wait 4 hours for Harith instead of like I don't know what it is, like 8 maybe. And Dave actually spawns at the bottom there for you to kill him rather than walking all the way up to his bedroom and killing him in his sleep. It's more pleasant to be killed. Well, actually, no, it would be more pleasant to be killed in your sleep. But yeah. So I just feel like in some terms it's a little bit faster, but yeah.
Very nice. I won't ask that question. I was going to ask how you want to die, and I was going to tell you about how I want to be killed by a blimp. I want to get hit by a blimp, and then it just takes away without ever crashing. So people can say, yo, did you see that? And people are like, what happened? He got hit by a blimp. Anyways, where are we headed to now?
Can y'all hear my home phone? Yeah, my home phone's like going crazy in the background right now. I apologize.
I can't hear anything, so you're fine.
No,
okay.
I can't hear it.
Okay, good. But we are off to oh my god, what is this place called? We'll get the fast travel in a minute. We're gonna complete a quest where like 2 crazy people who think they're like superheroes are fighting against each other, and we have to kill one of them.
Canterbury Commons.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of the more fun quests. It's the antagonist and the mechanist, and we're going to, once we get here, we're going to quickly solve the whole. Pretty much, these two are dueling. One can control ants, the other controls some robots, and they're kind of terrorizing this town with their duels, thinking they're comic book heroes / villains. But by just talking to Uncle Ro real quick and then going outside, we're gonna just blast the mechanist now with the alien blaster, and that kind of just ends. That kind of solves the issue by clearing out one side, and then we go back to talk to Uncle Ro. And we solved the issue, and then yeah, we'll be set. We've completed the quest. It's one of the more fun. I think that this is one of the more fun quests in Fallout 3 with the dialogue. And Uncle Ro's a bit finicky sometimes with where he is.
Yes.
All right. Now we're going to duplicate our Nuka-Cola Quantums here. If you notice when we were in Dukov, we picked up a lot of bottles. That was one to gain karma, or bad karma, that we needed in the future. And it was also for us to duplicate 37 Nuka-Cola Quantums, because we need, I think it's 25 for a quest later on called the Nuka-Cola Challenge, I believe is the quest name.
Yeah. So the way that the duping, right now, LMW, he was able to do it super quick. That's a really short window of a trick to succeed, but LMW now has 37 Quantums in his inventory. And the way it works is by putting a lot of one item into like a storage container that has an item you want to duplicate, and then taking all of the item that you just put in, like the big stack, and pressing A. Like you click and press A, which is like take all. You press those in rapid succession, and if you do it right, then the stack moves over, but you press A to take all while the item you want to duplicate is still on the other side, and then you take like a stack's worth of that item. So it's kind of hard to explain, but pretty much you're taking a stack of items, putting it in there, and then getting a stack of the other item in return. And that's also how we perform that ghost duping glitch early. Same exact mechanic of taking an item that's a stack from their inventory and an item below it in the list, and by pressing on the stack to bring it back over to their inventory and A in rapid succession, you then send a stack of the other item over, even though you just won. So like In this, usually you'll sell like a you'll take a Chinese pistol and a stack of ammo, and you move the stack of ammo over and then press A. Then you move a stack of Chinese pistols over. So it's like you're swapping one Chinese pistol for like 7 or 8. So you get a bunch of store credit. So that's how the ghost duping works. That's how the item duping works. It's a cool way to get a bunch of items quicker, store credits quick. But there are some like little rules to it. You can't just dupe anything. Anyways, now we're where are we at? Marigold Station. Yeah, we killed Dr. Lesko. And this dude has a bunch of ants as well that he's like experimenting on or whatever. And LMW just sent an inhibitor pulse to kind of destroy all the ants, which will complete this quest once we get outside. I think it's once we get outside and talk to Brian Wilkes. Is that what completes the quest?
Yes, I believe so. We're gonna talk to him here in a second. He should be up here.
Yeah, this is a really cool clip out of bounds. And we talked to Brian Wilkes, and Brian could be really annoying at times because sometimes he'll just be missing and running around the town. But yeah, so knocked that out of the way. And now we go to the Jefferson Memorial. So we discovered this earlier, kind of right after we took care of Dukov. And this is where a lot of main story quests happen. And part of the main story involves you clearing out Jefferson of a bunch of super mutants. And like in order to complete or progress the quest. And because we have to go to, we're going to be running past like in this area in a moment. So it makes sense to go to Jefferson as like the fast travel point and then run through. So because we're here, we're going to take this moment to clear out all the super mutants because otherwise we'd have to clear them out and then wait a bit. So doing this now just saves waiting later on. And then we leveled up there and we took Child at Heart for a quest later on. Now we're in the sub-basement, clearing out a bunch of super mutants. There's so many of them here.
Yeah, there's one more left.
There we go.
He should be on the staircase. Hey, buddy. Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to be back here later for the main quest, but right now we're just clearing out of those super mutants because it makes sense with where we need to go on the map. And that it's worth mentioning that a lot of this is like a really intricately routed category. This and the all quests with DLC because you have to account for things like karma and what level you are and what stats you'll have. So you would think initially like, oh, let's just plow through all the quests one after another, but it's really woven together super well where your karma is taken into account at some points, your speech skills taken into account at some points, and it's always shifting throughout the run. It's super cool.
Now we are off to downtown DC. This is like an RNG fiesta here coming up in a second. There's a lot of lockpick RNG, some speech checks, or actually it might be one speech check. It's 80%, but sometimes it can mess you up a little bit. But
yeah, so we just ran past Rivet City, which is a huge location for the story in the game normally, but we're only going to spend like 90 seconds there, if even. We're kind of in and out of there, which is surprising for how pivotal the location is in the actual game. And right now, we're just running through Anacostia Crossing. And as much as a network of mazes that the subway system is in this game, where it feels like they're pretty straightforward once you get the hang of them. And right now we're just running to the museum station, I believe it. And that's gonna spit us out at the National Mall. So that's where like the Museum of History is and the National Archives on like the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. We're gonna be going to all those locations in this. But first, once we exit, the first one we're going to be going to is the Tech Museum. Because
yes.
there's like a bunch of old spaceships and stuff. It's pretty cool. And on one of the landers that was used for the moon, we're going to get a satellite dish that was on it. And that's for a quest that we're going to do almost at the end of the run. And we need to do a couple clips in here. And the clips in this building, at least I found, were more difficult than most of the other clips in the game.
Yeah, that stair clip right there is not easy. It's kind of difficult.
Real tough stair clip that we did. Now we're in, I think this is the West Wing. We go and grab this and, oh no, first we got to force a lock. So in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, when you go to lockpick, you like jiggle around a bobby pin and stuff. But based on what your repair skill is, you can press F to force a lockpick, and it's a like a whatever percent chance based on whatever your repair skill is that it'll just automatically unlock. And typically, if you fail, doesn't it? I think it breaks the lock, and then you can't lockpick it. But what we do in this,
Yes.
yeah. So what we do in this speed run is we quick save beforehand, and then you can just keep interacting with the door and forcing the lock. And if it fails, you just quick load it and do it again. So you can spam like 3 to 4 attempts a second. Really, it's maybe not that much, but it's like 2 attempts a second of attempting to force this lock, and it's much faster than actually doing the whole lock pickings. It is the lock picking skill. My bad. I thought that the force lock part was the repair skill.
Yeah,
But
I was
we-
about to say I'm pretty sure it was lockpick. I was gonna ask like,
Ah.
oh, it's repair. Wow. Okay. So now
So
we
we
are
just-
off to the Lincoln Memorial. I don't know DC stuff well, right?
Yeah, we're off
Yeah,
to the
okay.
Lincoln Memorial, which ironically is the location of some slavers. And here we're going to talk with Leroy. Leroy
I'm Leroy
Walker, that
Walker.
was it. And this is just to advance a quest. There's the 82% speech check. And before we got to Canterbury Commons to take out the superhero dudes, we sniped a guy named Hannibal Hamlin that's in the Temple of Union. And by speaking with Leroy right there, we kind of turned in us killing that guy right there. Or killing Hannibal Hamlin. Right there, we just discovered Museum of History, or fast traveling to it later on. And now we're on our way to the National Archives, where, as I alluded to earlier, the obvious joke of we're going to like cosplay as Nick Cage here, because there's a dude in Rivet City named Abraham Washington, who is the person that we're going to turn in the Soil Stradivarius to, the violin we grabbed while using third person in Vault 92. And also the Declaration of Independence. Right here, we're going to go steal the Declaration of Independence. This was always, I thought, one of the more fun splits in the run. How do you feel about LMW?
Yeah, no, it really puts you in that perspective of a national treasure, you know.
Exactly, exactly. I was always a big fan of those movies. I always liked the sidekick dude.
Oh
I
yeah.
always liked that guy. He was fun. But regardless of whether or not you're Nick Cage, I thought that the out of bounds area coming up is pretty fun. We're gonna be going out of bounds in a moment to go on top of. After forcing this door, we're gonna be going out of bounds to walk on top of all these hallways and skip a lot of the area. And then once we open the door at the end, LMW is just gonna kind of blind fire right away to kill a robot that's wearing a powdered wig that's named Button Gwinnett, whatever. We get a password from the body, I believe, the Ash. We're gonna unlock all those doors, and right here in the middle safe, we get the Declaration of Independence. And yeah, now we exit, and then we're gonna make our way. We're gonna fast travel to a place called Seneca Crossing. And then this out of bounds clip is a bit tricky. That was really good. I always had
Yeah.
difficulty with that one.
Okay, that was a really good downtown DC. By the way, we saved like 8 seconds. So
Yeah, that was a good one. So yeah, now at Seneca Crossing, we shot right there as we entered to not go into dialogue. In this game, if you're in combat, then you won't go into dialogue. So in some categories, you'll see people flailing their fists around to punch. That's just when you're punching, the game thinks you're in combat, so it skips dialogue. And right there, we just shot real quick so a dude named Murphy wouldn't talk to us. And yeah, now we're in Moresty Station, and we're going to talk to a dude named Robert up here. And then this is actually, if you remember a little back, we went to Erethu. And in Erethu, we were talking about the vampires. This is the vampire quest. This is the one where Vance, who is a vampire, he like recruited this kid or kidnapped this kid, and we're here to rescue him. Now, I'm looking at the the Wikipedia, I'm not seeing any actual explanation for how they're vampires. Or if they actually are. I don't think they are. Yeah, so we took out Vance, and now we're going to go and talk to, I think his name is Evan
I thought I
King?
heard guns.
Ian West.
Ian West. No, yes, Evan King's the original.
Yeah.
Ian
We're
West.
gonna go back and talk to him in a second.
Yeah. Ian West is the kid who was kidnapped, and then we clip out of bounds to COC back at the back in an entrance. The exit real quick. And clip out of bounds again to COC again at a different entrance to then be outside and be able to fast travel to Erifu and turn in the quest.
There she is.
Yeah, they consume blood but are not actual vampires.
All right, so now we're gonna have to do a bit of an alternate route here from what we normally do. This crashed ship right here holds some missiles that we're gonna be needing later on. Usually Harith will have the correct amount of missiles that you need for later on in the run, but he didn't spawn with. I believe you need 3. No, it's just 2, right? Yeah, no, it's just 2 because
You need the one for Speed Cripple.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't really count, but then you need one for 10 penny, one for Oasis, and are there any others?
No, that's it.
All right, so where are we off to now?
My least favorite segment of the run. This is we are heading to Tranquility Lane, and most Fallout 3 fans might find this place to be a personal favorite of theirs. It certainly was one of mine when I was a kid. We're gonna basically be saving our father, going into a simulation, and yeah, we're gonna be saving our father through a simulation. He's trapped in the simulation, so we have to go in and save him.
It's one of those segments where there's a lot of these in video games where it's like, wow, that's really, really cool. Like, it's a really cool segment. But then if you speedrun it, it's just miserable.
Yeah, because it's mainly the end. Because when we enter the simulation, we lose our speed glitch, speed cripple. We lose that because I honestly don't know why we lose it. I think it's just because we're going into like a whole different area. Because we're technically a kid in there, right? So I guess it just negates it.
I
in
used
a way.
to know
I
the
don't
exact reason. It's something along those lines. Yeah, it heals you before you go in, I think.
But getting speed cripple at the end of this is my least favorite part of the run. Usually I have to reset the game, which I might have to do here, but I'll try and do it without having to reset the game.
Yeah. And then along the way, on our way to Vault 112, which is in the basement of Smith Casey's garage, which is where Tranquility Lane happens, we're going to discover Little Lamplight up here, which is another one of the main quest locations that we'll be coming back to later. And we're just picking it up now since we're in the area. But it's not super important for us to have, right? It's not super important to know that we're going here now. Just discovering that and then dip into Smith Casey's garage.
Which is where we will get to Tranquility, because hidden in Smith Casey's garage is Vault 112, which is where the simulation will be taking place.
Pretty cool. Like, it's the good example of the whole idea that Vault Tech, in the lore of the Fallout world, they were less providing actual shelter for people and more contracted by the U.S. government and military to perform experiments on people and sell the results of the experiments to the government. And this is a good example where it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be a Tranquility Lane. It's supposed to be this nice, like, paradise that you live in forever. But it's rapidly descended into chaos, as most vaults did. So.
Exactly.
And then in this one, I think Tranquility Lane got taken over by the person. I think, is it the person who designed it?
I'm not too. I think so.
Yeah. It's this guy. It's a guy named Braun, I believe, and he was the one who designed the simulation. And then he's actually in the simulation as a little girl named Betty, and it's only like through research and stuff inside the simulation you eventually come to that realization and whatnot. But yeah, he kind of just like takes over. He kind of took over Tranquility Lane and was using it as his own playground, doing whatever he wanted. And he actually turned Liam Neeson into a dog, since Liam Neeson is a smart guy in this. And yeah. But when we enter the vault right here, we're going to clip through this door. which clipping through vault doors can be really tricky at times. I find the one on Vault 101 later to be the really difficult one, but that was very smooth clipping in there. Good job. Talk to the Robo Brain to get the Vault 112 jumpsuit, which is required to enter the memory pod or Tranquility Lane pod, whatever it is. And yeah, so once we enter this pod, Lounger, then we officially lose our speed cripple, which we were talking about before, which is not fun. And
It is not.
no. And in Tranquility Lane, instead of doing the actual quest, we're going to go straight to the first house on the left, which is where the failsafe is. And by interacting with the radio, the pitcher, the gnome, the pitcher, the cinder block, the gnome, and the bottle in that order, then we activate the failsafe, which is like a big terminal on a wall, and we just access the Chinese invasion program, and it ends the whole simulation. As you can see, there's a bunch of Chinese soldiers. We just have to stop hop here because we don't have speed cripple anymore. And then once we exit, we're going to speak with Liam
You
Neeson.
saved me.
And after that, we are going to prepare to like exit this area. Or we are going to like exit the actual vault, right? But we have to do a clip right here. And this clip is actually, good job. That clip is actually so hard because you don't have the bonus speed from speed cripple. And you got it
wow.
right away.
Oh, wow. That was really
We got
good.
speed cripple right away too. This is awesome. Yeah, that
this
was
is a-
awesome.
This
That
is a
part,
really good pace.
yeah, that was so good. This run as a whole has been going so smooth. Good job so far, dude.
Thank you.
That clip after speaking to Liam Neeson is so tricky. We have to rebind everything because everything gets unequipped and unbound. But you have to clip through that door to fall out of bounds and then COC to exit the area. And then we use the auto save that gets made on the other side of the door as the save for us to load once we get speed cripple again. It's just more optimal with the menuing, which is why we perform the clip before getting speed cripple. But as I said, like you don't have that bonus speed from speed cripple, so the clips are even harder. You just got that immediately. Good job. And then we got speed cripple like third try, which is awesome. So
Yeah, no, that never happens. I usually have to restart my game for it to even work, and I didn't even have to that time, so that's really good.
yeah, you're killing it so far, dude.
Sierra Petrova.
Now, I don't really know the dialogue here well. Oh, wait. I just did something wrong. Hello?
Hang on. Hang on.
What are you doing?
Oh, is she gonna give you? I think she's giving you the tour.
Sierra
You have the
Petrova.
autosave from entering. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait. I think I forgot the dialogue. Oh my god.
Sierra Petrova does the
32122.
Sierra Petrova does
Okay, yeah. All right, my bad.
No worries. That dialogue is like honestly hard to get through because like there's so many ways to mess it up and have her give you a tour. But pretty much right there with Sierra, we just gave her all those Nuka-Cola Quantums that we duped earlier. And yeah, pretty much completes the Nuka-Cola challenge. Apparently, according to Noob Salmon, you can exit and re-enter and it skips the tour. That is something I did not know. That would have been good to know 3 years ago when I was running this category.
Yeah, we just lost 40 seconds there, man. That sucks.
It's like one of those, it's such a simple quest, but it does something, you know?
Elongated musket gun, if you're in chat, I know you taught me a different way to do dialogue. I'm sorry that I forgot it, buddy.
All right, so now that we got that little slip up out of the way, where are we on to?
We're going to Tenpenny Towers here to actually enslave one of the people that we need to bring back to paradise. It will actually be the only person we bring back to paradise out of the 3 slaves. The other 2 will go somewhere else or suffer a different fate. You will see.
Yes. One of them was Arkansas, who we took care of earlier, but the other one we haven't really encountered yet. That's the one
Right.
with a tricky lockpick later on.
Mm-hmm.
So Tenpenny, normally, like, instead of, like, there's a gate you're supposed to go through because they have a big wall around the base of the tower. But instead, there's some rocks which are perfectly pretty much lined up with where we're running to, where we're coming from. You just run along the side of them and jump up over the wall. It's nice and easy way in.
So now the girl's name is Susan. Sometimes she won't spawn in here, so hopefully she is in here.
Yeah.
We'll see. She is. All right. She's cowering in fear.
Who are you again?
It's always a good feeling when she spawns, like, always in this room, and she goes into the cowering animation right away.
Exactly.
So yeah, we put a slave collar on her right away, and then we're going down into the basement. Because we need to speak with Roy Phillips, who is a ghoul, who he and all of his ghouls want to invade Tenpenny. And LMW shot a missile launcher in the corner a moment ago. That was to, like, destroy a generator or whatever that was keeping the door locked. And you can destroy it through the wall. So by just shooting the missile launcher into that corner, destroy the generator and open the door. And now we spoke to Roy. And now we're going to go and shoot Chief Gustavo to get his key. And yeah, pretty much go. And do we speak to Roy here again? No, we just enter and exit, right?
No, we don't. I don't know. I just opened the command prompt. I'm not cheating. I promise.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we just had to enter and exit there. And now we can leave fast travel to Tenpenny Tower and speak to Roy again. And then that takes care of all the Tenpenny stuff.
Susan thought she
So
could.
now we go back to Paradise Falls. Now that we've captured Susan, we're gonna go and we're going to jump and talk to Eulogy Jones. Which, like, this is a pretty tricky thing. You have to jump. He's up on a balcony. And it's fast to just jump off like a car or something just to speak with him. It can be tricky to jump and get enough height and speak with him at the peak of your height. But it skips a bit of walking and stuff. And when we speak to Eulogy Jones, we're going to buy a bunch of kids from him. And then set the kids free once we're done talking to him.
It was a clean jump.
That was very good.
What the hell, Wadey?
So yeah, as we exit, we'll speak with the kids, speak with Sammy,
Well, I guess that's
let them know that they're free to go. So now we're going to Germantown. And Germantown has the hardest lockpick in the game, where it's like a 10% chance to successfully force it. So hopefully we get it pretty quickly.
Come on. How's everyone's day going? Oh, there we go.
Nice.
All right.
And then inside Germantown, we again lockpick this door
rescuing
to set Big Red free. And then we'll, after speaking with Big Fred, after speaking with Red and letting them know that they're free to go, we're gonna just fast travel back to Big Town, which is the location we did that mailbox jump at earlier, and speak to Red there to get our reward and turn in this quest.
Ah, she didn't travel with me. Come on.
And sometimes Red will do this. Be a bit
Well, oh, there she is.
I'm glad to.
nice.
This game saw my insane tranquility and was like, no, we're not going to let you save time.
Yeah, I feel like Tranquility is a good like dividing part in the run for like the first chunk of stuff and then like the back half. Even though it might not be directly in the middle of the run. But yeah, so now we're at Oasis, and after quick saving, quick loading, and waiting a bit to skip some stuff, we're going to fire a missile launcher at a tree, and I think it's best if we maybe just listen in on this, how this goes.
It's a bit it's a bit graphic, I guess. I want to say graphic. Come on.
Mature eyes only.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just going to skip a bunch of ceremonial stuff that, you know, we definitely want to listen to. But yeah, we just skipped through all that, and we're going to kill the tree. Bye. I know.
It's like the best part of the run. It's so funny. And once we're done at Oasis, we're gonna fast travel to Rivet City, and there we're gonna take out a bunch of stuff real quick. Like I said, Rivet City is typically a part that you have to do a lot of quests at. We're gonna do this little jump here. Do a jump to get onto the platform.
Is there a problem?
Yeah, Rivet City has a ton of quests.
By the way, that entrance dialogue is a good example of how bad Bethesda's dialogue is. He said, "Do you have a problem?" And he said, like goodbye or something, or like thanks.
So the first
You're
thing
in
that we
Rivet
do
City.
here is we talk to a doctor, and then we're gonna talk to Victoria, who is in Zimmer's room. And this is the quest that's kind of setting up for Fallout 4. And this is the one that has to do with the android and stuff like that, and the changing of faces. So we're blowing through all the dialogue here. And then we're gonna go and talk to Abraham Washington and give him the Declaration of
We need to get back
Independence.
to Project.
I guess not yet. We speak with Liam Neeson
there.
first to progress the main quest. Then we speak with the dude, Dr. Zimmer, to progress the android quest. Tell him that it's dead. Ends the quest right away. And then we're going to go to Abraham Washington and give him the Declaration of Independence, as well as Soil Stradivarius, to complete our role play of Nick
To the
Cage.
Capitol Quite an impressive.
And after that, we're going to be going to some living quarters. I think is it living quarters that we confront Ted Strayer in?
Quite an
Or a
impressive.
bar?
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, so we're going to go there, and there's a dude named Ted Strayer who we need to confront. And instead of talking to him, we're just going to blast him with the alien blaster. And he is a part of the quest. You got to shoot him in the head, which is, that's the one. Is that the one with all the keys? Yeah, this is to get a key,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. This will
So
collect
this-
the final key in the quest.
Yeah. So the one where we killed Dave in the Republic of Dave, as well as Dukov with all the women and then all the bottles we picked up. This is all a part of that same quest, which we'll be turning in pretty soon.
So we wait till 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. there because we need someone to spawn in a certain location on time. We just took Ted Strayer's key, but we just took everything to make it faster. But we're gonna go to the marketplace to kill. I think it's the last slave. And
Name's Flack.
yeah, Flack, and we're gonna kill him basically to end that quest. Or no, there's one more person still alive, but we're basically just gonna let him die. We're not even gonna worry about him. And yeah, so now we are going to travel to the Museum of History to give the keys to the ghoul.
So the 4 people as a part of the slave quest that we had to interact with were Flack, the dude who we just killed, Red from Big Town, the person that we saved in Germantown, Susan Lancaster, the girl who we actually did enslave in Tenpenny Tower, and Arkansas in the minefield, who we took care of long ago. But here with Mr. Crowley, turning all the keys, which this quest was, I believe it was Tenpenny, hired a bunch of mercenaries. Mr. Crowley being one of them, the other people that we've talked to, or people that we've killed being the other ones. Mr. Crowley wanted us to just kind of take care of and kill the rest of the people. So that's what we did, and we turned in the keys to Crowley. Completing the quest, you got to shoot him in the head. So,
All right, so now we are on to Waters of Life. We're going to help our father here with a little science project he's been working on for a while. We're going to, he wants to purify all the water in the wasteland. And,
Here we are.
hold on, I got to, all right,
this is where we're getting back into the main story of the game.
yeah.
We've been side questing for most of this and kind of setting up the back half with main quest stuff. And we're kind of set to reap all of our rewards at this point. Right now, we need to help kind of activate this building. So LMW a moment ago fell out of bounds, and as he was falling, activated the flood control power switch. And now in the sub basement, he has to go activate a fuse. And then we're going to have to go back to Liam Neeson and talk to him. And then we go back to the sub basement and
I've been
activate some
hearing good-
fuses. And then we're going to have to go and activate some pipe controls, and that's going to lead into the next. That's going to lead into the next big set piece of the run, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, this is why we had to clear out all those super mutants before, because we didn't, then they all kind of wait outside or in Rivet City for us to do so. And then once we do it, then we'd have to do we'd have to like wait, like the actual wait feature pass time for them, which is pretty slow.
These stair clips do not like me right now. Come on.
Yeah, stair clips are really hard. You have to like be walking up the stairs and rubbing against the wall, and just sometimes they say no. It's not too fun. That jump out of the pipe is very difficult. Much more difficult than makes it look.
Yeah, that is a new well, I wouldn't really say glitch or clip or whatever. I mean, that clip has been a concept for a while, but it's just been very hard to like clip through, and we found that way is probably the easiest way to do it. I went the wrong way. Okay. Jump right here. Right. So now we are going to activate a pipe for Dad here, but we are going to get a not so pleasant surprise from unwanted guests known as the Enclave.
Yes. So, yeah, this is kind of like supposed to be, I'd say, like a big turning point in the actual game when you play casually. Kind of where like stuff starts to hit the fan, things aren't going as planned. And also something's about to happen. Big plot point that I'll talk about. We'll see in a moment. But pretty much once we get back inside, LMW is gonna go and talk to Colonel Autumn, who I believe this is his first actual appearance in the game. I don't think he appears anywhere beforehand. I don't think any of the Enclave appear before. Yeah, gotta take out all the Enclave who arrived.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna do real quick? Can I clip through here? I can. All right, I'm going to sleep actually because my health is pretty low. Don't want to die. Lose does that lose your speed cripple? It does, right? Pretty sure it
I
does.
believe so.
Yeah. And yeah, we would not want that. No. So far, the game has not crashed. I'm very impressed.
Oh, you can't say that while you're actually doing the run.
Okay. Yeah.
I just knocked on wood for you.
All right.
All right,
Come
so
on.
here we go. We're gonna get some actual.
The person in charge.
When we have to talk to Colonel Autumn twice, like through the wall. I honestly forget the reason for that.
What?
Why we have to speak to him through the wall.
It skips dialogue.
Ah, there we go. That would explain it. Usually, if something happens.
You could just quick save and quick load, but I think it skips dialogue in like larger increments.
What is he doing?
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Yeah, then there's this cutscene right here that happens where Liam Neeson explodes something to try and kill Colonel Autumn and stop him from taking the work. But Liam Neeson also dies because, you know, when you have a big voice actor like Liam Neeson or Patrick Stewart, you got to kill him off early so then you don't have to pay him all that expensive checks for having him read all the lines, you know? That's the Bethesda way of thinking. But
Yeah.
we're now going into the sewer with Madison Lee, Dr. Lee, and this is pretty fun. We're just gonna blast the people who are with her and us because they are slow, and we don't want them dragging us down. And then we neutralize Madison Lee for a bit and run through the sewers on our own because she will get caught up in enemies and stuff. And if we do the sewers, like running through all these like sewers and stuff on our own, and she is passed out, and then get to the end and then just wait like 4 or 5 hours, or is it just 1 hour?
It's just 1 hour.
After? Okay, yeah. If we just wait then afterwards, then the traverses all the sewer on her own, just skipping past all those enemies. So yeah, it's a fun way to avoid her getting caught up. And this is also when our side in the game kind of shifts from just siding with our dad to then siding with the Brotherhood of Steel. This is when the Brotherhood of Steel become big players in the game.
Lions!
Yeah, we wait, and then Madison Lee spawns, and then we enter the Citadel. we get the fast travel point, and once we get the fast travel point, we fast travel away to Farragut West Metro. Then in the metro, we just are going to flip out of bounds and do some maneuvering on top of the rooms. Because we're gonna make our way to Chevy Chase to meet almost everyone's favorite character in Fallout 3.
Oh, yes, of course. The one and only. Oh, we clipped there.
Exactly.
All right. So we're just going to run through a bunch of super mutants here on the way to Galaxy News radio station. And like Tomato said, the voice behind the legendary radio station is about to appear.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite character.
And this is one of my favorite moments of this run because typically you have to like fight the behemoth and everything like that. But is it because we've like been doing stuff ahead of this already? Yeah, the behemoth breaks through and you're supposed to clear out all of them. And when you speak with the dude through the radio, he goes, "Looks like it's all clear," even though the behemoth is right behind you. So that's
funny.
I think one of the best parts of the entire run.
I'd say so.
The look on your face says
Okay, so we got a lot of dialogue to master here, but there he is, Three Dog. We all love him. But he wants us to repair a satellite dish for him so that he can start broadcasting again. And that satellite dish is at the Washington Monument, and we're just going to tell him, oh, we've already discovered that, so we're just going to go right over there, quickly put the dish that we got from the Museum of Technology, I believe. And yeah, and we're just going to insert that thing in so that he can do his little broadcasting again.
Yeah, and lucky for us, the top of the Washington Monument is kind of exploded and open to the air, which means it's an outdoor location, which means we can fast travel from it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this elevator sequence is so long. Just kind of wait. It would be nice with some elevator music, but, you know, we're in the wasteland. There's no time for elevator music.
And we're on Twitch.tv, so we don't want GDQ to get banned.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Definitely not.
So yeah,
Right.
once we install the Virgo dishing, we go back to GNR, and we're gonna speak with Three Dog.
He's upstairs.
He should be cowering in fear, much like Susan earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not.
hey, all right.
This is when I insert the classic line of "That's never happened before." Ooh.
I feel like, at least when I used to run this category, Three Dog was sometimes very tricky to find in those 3 rooms that he can spawn in. I don't know what it was. I could never
I'm
find
having a
him
bit of
there.
having a bit of a brain fart here. Oh, it's Chevy Chase North. All right. Yeah. So now we're coming up on my least favorite clip in the game.
Which one is it?
It's the one where like you have to jump on a bunch of rocks to get into that one.
Ah.
Yeah, you'll see. You know what I'm talking about?
I know the one you're talking about. It's not one that I've actually done before myself,
yeah,
because
it's not fun. I will say
no,
that.
doesn't look like it. So we're going to go and complete a quest now called Riley's Rangers, where there's a bunch of Rangers who are trapped in a hotel called the Statesman, and they're at the top, and we have to make our way all the way up to the top and rescue them. And I always thought this was a pretty cool quest playing casually. Like, normally you have to work through a hospital to get to the hotel, but there's this clip that we're able to do here, which is the one that LMW was just talking about that's pretty tough, where we're able to completely skip the hospital.
Oh, wow. That was quick. All right. Yeah, that's an annoying clip. Usually it takes a lot longer for me to achieve that.
Good job.
I tried it. You have to get higher up on this thing. I tried again. Didn't work.
So yeah, this skips having to go through Lady of Hope Hospital and brings us straight to the Statesman Hotel mid-level.
I got stuck. Oh, come on, work for me. What are you doing?
This just shows how finicky the terrain and everything is in Fallout 3. It's super easy, especially when you're speedrunning. It's super easy to like quick save, quick load, and accidentally walk into a rock and be trapped into it because you can only clip one way into it. But inside the Statesman, we clip out of bounds, then run along the ceilings, dance on the ceilings, and then going to drop back in bounds and clip through a wall.
And preferably everyone usually makes a hard save here because you could COC at a point to where it's really hard to get back to where we are right now. There we go.
Game's over.
Nice.
And now we're coming up to another lockpick. I think it's only 60%. Yeah. So then we go through here.
No more games.
We're gonna go through here, up and around, and we're gonna encounter these rangers fighting a bunch of super mutants, or just finishing fighting super mutants, I guess. And he needs help. He can't get down the elevator. Why aren't you talking to me? All right, there
Get
you go.
your ass. Watch it, will you?
So then we're going to repair the elevator for him with that fission battery we got at Volt 92 very early in the run. And this is very one of the only combat sequences that we're going to try and not get smoothly, I guess. Oh my gosh.
Now, there's what you can do to save a little bit of time here is rely on the Rangers themselves to clear out some of the super mutants, but it's not very safe to do. So LMW cleared them all out on his own. And now we fast travel to Anacostia. And we're going to go clip out of bounds here and go to Seward Square, where we're going to go to the Ranger compound and talk to Riley to turn in the quest. And then after that, we have, I think, one more side quest we do. And then it's just from then on, it's just mainlining the rest of the main quest. So what's your favorite part of this run, LMW?
My favorite quests, like, just in general, like when I was playing this casually as a kid, was Homefront, and we're actually coming up on that right now. Just because, you know, you get to go back into Vault 101 after, you know, being gone from it for so long. It's a really nice quest.
Yeah.
You look like you've been
And
through
then, what about in the speed run? What do you think is the most fun section of the run?
Most fun section of the run, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, this whole category is a lot of fun to me. There's just so much going on, which is a lot better than any percent where you just start, where you just walk the whole time and collect a couple of things. But
that was a really good clip into Vault 101, by the way. That door is really tough sometimes. And then in here, we're going to be doing a newer strat. We need to speak with the Overseer, so by ramping off of that storage rack or whatever, we get close enough to the Overseer where he starts moving, and then by waiting an hour, he comes and talks to us. We used to have to go all the way down in the vault and then kill a dude, and then I think that's when the Overseer would show up. But this is, how much faster is doing this strat?
It can be anywhere from 10 seconds or more, depending on when you get the speech check.
Pretty cool. Now we have to speak with Amada, catch up with her, tell her what we've been up to. And then, yeah, we're pretty much done here in Vault 101. We punched a little bit to skip some dialogue. And going to be clipping out of bounds to walk on the ceilings again. And exit Vault 101. And that's the last side quest in the game that we had to do.
Now it's just the main quest from here.
Yeah.
And next segment, we're coming up on a part that is all too familiar for me, grinding any percent.
Yes, the next like 5 minutes or so of the run are taken straight from any percent.
Yeah, it's not a fun. I can't even enjoy it anymore. I've just run the category so much. But there's a lot going on here. It's very interesting. Lots of out of bounds. It's just great.
Yeah, I think that the whole Vault 87. So pretty much what we're going to do is we speak with McCready and use the Child at Heart perk that we took a long time ago to get through. And then we're going to go through Little Lamplight a bit. And we're going to then go through Murder Pass, which will bring us to Vault 87, which is where the Gek is located, which is like the big MacGuffin for this game and pretty much every Fallout. And the whole right here, by the way, we're doing void swimming, which is where if you make a quick save floating in the void and then swim underwater and quick load, then you're able to swim infinitely out into the void, which is what we do to be able to access the door to Murder Pass. It's super, super cool. And then we run through Murder Pass and it transitions seamlessly into Vault 87, which is just a ton of really cool and tight platforming.
Tried barrel skip, didn't get it.
Barrel skip, the good old quarter-second save. Yeah, Vault 87 is super cool, and as we said, this segment of the run is taken straight from any percent. So, because LMW is a tied world record holder, we get to see some world record caliber gameplay right here.
Hopefully. We're coming up on a pretty hard, I guess, part of the, part of any percent. It's called Rock Bust. Basically, we're going to clip out, get this level up first, because you know this is all quest, not any percent. And we're going to basically climb up this rock right here to get to this door. It's pretty hard for new runners. It's not fun, but since we are here, I guess I'll do some risky strats. Go up here, clip through there.
Ooh, that was smooth.
There we go. So far, so good. Oop. Tried to turn on my Pip-Boy flashlight. Accidentally just pulled up my entire Pip-Boy. So usually what we have to do in 80% is go to and activate a fire alarm to get the main quest, because we don't really get the main quest until like towards the end of the run. Because we're bugging the game a lot in that category. But since we already have the quest, we can just go straight and collect the Gek, which we're going to get right here. This room is not fun in terms of clips. Lots of people have had tons of trouble getting certain clips through this room. My clip was very strange there. Now, that may have just looked like I ran into there, but I just like continuously moved left and right while like quick saving, quick loading to try and get through there, like wiggle my way through. Yeah, it's not a fun room to clip out of. There are so many clips for that room, and everyone uses a different one basically. And some people use the same, but it really depends on your hardware and your PC on whether or not some clips will work or not.
Objective is secure.
And it's, yeah, that's one of the most frustrating things about Fallout 3 as a speedrun is you could take a runner and have them perform the run on one computer and then have them play on a computer right next to it, and some of the clips will just work completely differently or not work at all. And it's just very frustrating at times finding the right clips that will work for you, or sometimes a clip will work for you and then you won't play the game for a few months, then you'll pick it back up and then clips will work completely differently. So yeah, I would say that's the most frustrating part, especially about running this game in any percent, because the end of the run, the last stretch, is where the most amount of those types of clips are that can just not work for whatever reason. So we've now been captured by the Enclave, who are the government in Fallout 3, the government and military, and the president, John Henry Eden, escapes us from our or lets us escape from our binds after some quick save, quick loading to skip some dialogue. And then it's a bunch more real tight platforming through Raven Rock as we make our way to John Henry Eden himself.
Fall back to Raven.
There are some pretty cool clips here.
Yeah, through these doors, they tend to take a little bit to open, and so once we're like kind of clear enough to kind of wiggle our way through, we just quick save and quick load the phase right through it. This next clip coming up, this door clip, is not easy. Let's see if I can get it first try here. Oh, I just clipped out of bounds. That's embarrassing. All right, let's go again. There we go.
That clip is, I think, maybe my favorite in the run to do successfully. It may not be the hardest one or the most inconsistent one, but it just feels so good to get it right.
It's very satisfying. I can agree with that.
So yeah, this is where we learn the big plot twist that John Henry Eden is a computer. And we take the Zax panel and we clip out of bounds again. And that clip that LMW just did, it may not have really looked like anything because he clipped out of bounds so quickly. But that clip is one of the ones that gives runners the most frustration. Just one of those ones like we were talking about where it can just not work for whatever reason. So now that we're out in the Capital Wasteland, we fast travel to the Citadel, and this is where we prep for the big final battle. And yeah, we're gonna go, and there's Elder Lions and Sarah, and we're gonna be doing a lot of quick saving and quick loading to skip a ton of dialogue. And then a bit of just kind of standing there.
All I'm saying is,
So they're basically discussing the game plan for attacking the Enclave with the one and only Liberty Prime, also featured in Fallout 4.
before we get started,
And so we're just going to say we're ready to fight. She's going to basically brief the soldiers on what the deal is. We're going to skip all that dialogue, obviously, because, we're trying to go fast here. Don't want to hear all that. So,
Exactly. The speed run, people.
oh, yeah.
Chop,
it's a speed
chop.
run. Not a slow run. Come on.
Got him.
Heyo!
Oh, okay, yeah. So we're usually stuck there for a little bit. And we're just going to fast travel to the Citadel. And now we are ending on the final part of the game. I could get sub 120 without loads here. That's pretty good.
So we fast travel to Jefferson. No, wait. Was it the Jefferson Memorial? Yeah, we're running to Jefferson. We fast travel to Rivet City, right? Or do we even fast travel? No, what am I thinking of? No, we're just running to the Jefferson.
Yeah, we just fast traveled to Citadel, and now we're running to Jefferson to end the game by entering the super secret code of 216, because, we are not supposed to know that because it's super secret, but it's
Alpha
not
and
because we're
Omega.
speedrunners, and we already know that. So,
And Jefferson Memorial is kind of walled off by these barriers, but by just going to this one spot, we can clip through in a little gap.
all right.
And yeah, once we get to the rotunda, we'll talk to Autumn and then clip into the rotunda.
And that will be the end of the run.
You.
All right, get ready for time. And time.
GG. Woo! Nice.
Good job, dude.
Yeah, great
Thank you, man.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for running Fallout 3 LMW, and Tomato, thank you as well for that informative commentary. That was super cool to watch. Great job, you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, do you have any shout outs or anything that you'd like to mention before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I just want to shout out everyone in the Fallout community. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting me and helping me get here today. Thank you to Tomato for commentating. We had a kind of a mix up with commentators, and he came in clutch. So that's nice. But yeah, thank you to everyone who has helped get us here, and
Yeah, very cool. I did have a quick question for you, LMW. You did mention that you played this game a lot as a kid. Do you think nostalgia was a really big part of the reason for deciding to speedrun Fallout 3?
That actually is exactly why I started speedrunning Fallout 3. When I was 8 years old, my dad had Fallout 3, and he wouldn't let me play it. So like at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd like get up, sneak downstairs, and like start playing it, but have no idea what was going on. But I just loved it. So yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Did he ever catch you like playing it?
Yeah, a couple times, but I mean, I'll take my punishment, and then like he'll hide like the PS3, and then
Aww.
when he sets it back up again, I'll just like sneak around and do it all over again.
That's really good. Well, thank you again, both of you, so much. Those of you watching, if you did enjoy this run, please make sure you follow our runner. That's twitch.tv/justlmw, as well as commentary for tonight. That is twitch.tv Tomato Angus, but the G is silent, so don't forget that. If you are interested in volunteering for SGDQ 2021 online, volunteer submissions are open now until April 23rd. You can go to gamesdonequick.com to find out more information on how to submit your volunteer application. Your subs, gift subs, Amazon Prime subs, and bits cheered here on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support our weekly hotfix content. So thank you so much for supporting our shows. We will return in a moment with Mirror's Edge, so stick around.
For any and all.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Time Capsule here on the Games Done Quick Hotfix, the show where we travel back in time to your favorite years in gaming and speedrun our way through popular or influential games released in a particular year. The year is 2008. I am your host, Smooth Operative. Get ready to lace up those sneakers because we are about to get into Mirror's Edge, and joining me right now are speedrunners Ojur and Black Belt Jinja Ninja. Welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm Ojur.
Hello, I'm Black Belt. Thank you.
Welcome.
So we're going to be doing Mirror's Edge glitchless here. It's one of our, I think, 5 main categories that we have for the game. And just bans some common glitches that you might see in other categories. So I guess, should we just get right into it, or?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay, all right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Right off the bat, I'm just going to skip the training. Pretty easy skip there. One of the easiest ones in the game, I would say. And then you're going to see there's a whole bible of movement tech that Mirror's Edge operates around. It's a really cool first-person platformer with a real depth of mechanics, and we still get to explore a lot of that in glitchless. One of the main things is the side jump. You see him kind of wave his hand across the screen. Essentially, there's an in-game dodge mechanic, a sidestep, that brings the character to full speed. And we utilize that anywhere where there's space to get to full speed instantly, rather than do a 5-second running animation. Here you can see him jump across that balance beam. That's also a little bit of an exploit. By binding jump to a scroll wheel, you can actually do a couple little clever tricks. Many of them used in 10%, but you can still use some of them in glitchless. You can also see him jumping on and off walls rather quickly. We call that a wall boost. Again, you use the scroll wheel, and then by jumping on and off the wall, the character can go from a running speed of 26 kilometers an hour to upwards of 40 or 50 kilometers per hour. So you can get pretty crazy fast, even in glitchless. Speaking of crazy fast, you're really zooming through the first level here, Prologue. Prologue is the first of 10 chapters. The game follows a loose story of a girl named Faith trying to kind of help her sister out of a bit of a pickle, for lack of a better word. You are a runner in a dystopian city where information is monitored. So you are a courier of information, kind of off the grid and through the rooftops. The cops don't necessarily like that, so you'll often see them shooting at you like they're doing here. The game itself is light on story, so our commentary probably will be too. There's a lot of movement stuff to explain as well, so we'll probably be talking more about that in the story. But really what you need to know is that's the end of Prologue, one of 10 chapters down, the shortest of them. We're going to jump right into chapter 1.
Yeah, so, Prologue, sort of just a blitz of movement and movement mechanics there. You're going to have time to get well acquainted with pretty much all of them, because really it's a set of 3 different things you do throughout the whole run, and just sort of chaining together a bunch of different types of movement in whatever way you can manage, going as fast as you can. You might notice, there I kind of slid to the side, but you'll notice when I go up to doors like that, one way you're supposed to go through doors is just by barging through them, but there are a number of animations in the game that are actually quite a bit faster, like kicking them or crouching and punching them and stuff like that. You'll see quite a bit of that.
Another cool thing about glitchless is just because there are no glitches doesn't mean there are no sequence breaks. For example, here, just with a couple clever little jumps, the game expects you to go around here, but you can actually look straight down here. Looking straight down lowers face hitbox, makes it less likely the guards will hit you. You can run right past them. So that's a nice little 5 or 6 second time save. Again, lots of little wall boosts, even in these confined areas. We're going to try to use wall runs and kicks to prevent you from having to roll there. A little bit of a roll, but not a problem. and then a very clean little jump into the vent there, having to not do any sort of climb up animations. I think the real cool part about glitchless is any percent is defined by these huge defining skips, but in glitchless there's a lot of little stuff that kind of adds up, so it's what draws a lot of runners to the category. I think it's what drew Audrey to it, and yeah, it's really smooth to watch when it's done by an expert like him.
Yeah, on this slide here, if you've ever seen like an any percent speedrun, I'll try to point out some of the major differences between the runs, but in any percent, you actually skip the entirety of that vent section, and you go out of bounds and slide down on that slide in a sort of like on an invisible platform. But in glitchless, you actually get to play through the whole level. So that's probably the first big out of bounds skip of many.
Right, that we're not going to be able to do, but yeah, you get to see more of the level, which I think is really cool. I also saw someone in chat ask what difficulty is this, and we play on easy difficulty just because there's no disadvantage to doing it. The enemies have worse aim and you take less damage, so it's just better all around.
Yeah, you also, there are a few enemies you actually have to kill. The majority of the game, you can skip everything, but for the handful that you do have to kill, 2 or 3, I guess, it's actually faster to play on easy because they die sooner.
Yep, exactly. I see some people in chat joking about getting dizzy. You know, the game, especially because of that side jump, there's a lot of whipping the camera around. It gives PC players, I think, a real advantage, and a lot of the top-level players end up gravitating to PC. We have some really phenomenal console runners, but just due to the scroll wheel and due to the way the mouse movement works, it's always a little bit difficult to play on console. Something else worth talking about here is right here you're going to see utilize the wall run kick to survive this fall that he otherwise wouldn't. There's a lot of little tricks in any speed game of the glitchless category, right? We spent a lot of time debating what's a glitch, what's an exploit. Much like the side jump and the wall boost we already talked about, we've decided as a community these are just character animations, and we allow these sort of things in glitchless. They make the category more interesting, and overall, they're just pretty trivial exploits, right? So we've decided to allow those sorts of things. And again, like double wall boost here, another double wall boost, those sorts of things. You know, maybe they look glitchy, maybe they don't, but we've decided that, hey, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, so coming up here is probably the first big glitchless skip, and it is called a sliding wall climb, and I'll let BBGen explain what that is in a second, but first we got a wall boost on that tree, that's important, and here we go.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see it here. He's going to get a wall climb, and then that wall climb's going to maintain his horizontal momentum. And then with all of that, a little bit of a side jump off that wall climb, you can clear this huge gap in a glitchless safe manner. It's really sick skip.
Yeah, that skip's having to climb up on the overpass up ahead and saves, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds or something like that. But a 10-second time save in glitchless is kind of an eternity because you don't really get time saves that big like you do in 80%.
Yeah, absolutely crazy strat. There's a glitchless segmented that a absolutely legendary runner named Rek released a few years back where he debuted that skip, and I mean, my jaw dropped when I first saw it, and I still think it's absolutely crazy. So really cool to see it done in any percent now, not just in a segmented setting.
Yeah, so here's the canal section. Here is one of the sections. We don't really have anything major. We just have a lot of wall boosts, a lot of bunny hops, and a lot of as precise movement as we can reasonably do. Wall boosts, I think, are probably the biggest time save in the run as a whole. So you really go to any length to try to fit them in wherever you can. And then this section up here is, I guess, another big glitchless skip. This is one of the oldest skips in Mirror's Edge. In the casual route, you're supposed to climb down a storm drain that we're coming up to here. But in speedruns, actually, you could probably do this at home, really. It's not too difficult, honestly. You just sort of stand on the corner of this rotating platform. Be careful not to fall off. And rather than parkour our way all the way down, we're just going to exploit the physics a little bit. And you'll see what I mean. There we go. Simple as that.
Very nice.
I love that
That's
skip.
a really cool skip.
Yeah, saves a lot.
I love how easy it is to understand, and yeah, and it saves like 10 to 15 seconds
Yeah.
as well. It's just a very fun skip.
Yeah, so here we're actually quitting out to the main menu because there is a storm drain door behind us and a storm drain door in front of us. And to get the one in front of us to open, we need to wait for the back one to close and the game to load. But by quitting out, that sort of like skips all of the background loading that's happening, and you just get it to open up right away. That actually saves, I don't know, depending on your PC, that could save 30 seconds.
Right, we have a load timer, like a lot of PC games, we have a load timer that cuts out loads automatically from your final time. So with the loadless timer, I wouldn't save as much, but especially in a real-time setting like this, at a marathon sort of event, a live event, it's really cool to see, you know, just save that time, quit and reload.
So right here, I'm going to go for a trick. Oh, I didn't get it. Okay, I was going to only go for that once because it's incredibly hard. And normally I would just like reset my runs there, because if you fail it once, then it's very hard to recover and sort of not lose a bunch of time. But this whole storm drain section is full of very technical vertical movement, which is sort of unique in this game. A lot of the movement is ground-based and horizontal, but yeah, there's a climb you can do there that I was just going for once by the guard that saves about 8 seconds if you get it.
Yep. Luckily, that sort of skip isn't very punishing if you fail it, so you saw him just kind of miss it and then run to the slightly more intended path. And that's the good thing about a lot of these glitchless skips too, is that especially in a live event like this, you can miss a little bit and still kind of keep the run going. Whereas in 90%, there are some skips that save a minute but lose like a minute and a half. So it's good to see that not go wrong.
Yeah, I said I was going to point out skips if they're big points of differentiation between any percent and glitchless, and actually one of them was earlier in this run. Rather than going down the storm drain, you can actually skip out of bounds and skip the storm drain altogether, and that saves, I don't know, 35, 40, 45 seconds, something like that.
Yep.
But here we just do a little bit of jump on top of this waterfall, actually. Don't ask how that works. You'd have to ask the developers.
Yeah, the waterfall has a hitbox, so we jump on the hitbox and we use that to get up there.
You can actually see collision there, if you were curious.
Yep.
But yeah, this is one of the last real vertical sections in the game until, I think, basically Chapter 8. But, yeah.
Yeah, quick story update. We're about to run into a guy named Jackknife who has some information. Our sister is being framed for a murder. That's kind of the overarching plot. We're trying to help her out and figure out a lot of the information about why she was framed and who framed her. We think this guy Jackknife might have some information, so we're going to do a chase sequence where we might actually get ahead of him, which is really the fun part.
Yeah, Jackknife's actually not the best runner. They say he's amazing, but he's actually kind of slow.
Yeah, quick little wall boost can get you some real speed on the zip line, and then another wall boost on the pole here. After that, again, we're going to use the wall run kick, which helps us survive that fall without having to roll. And then from there, again, another little wall run kick that'll help you land on this vent, because that wall run kick gives you a little more speed, a little more distance. And it's just a whole sequence of kicks, wall boosts here, another kick there. In that case, we actually use the kick to get some horizontal momentum away from the wall, so we don't land on the barbed wire.
Yeah, you can sort of see Jackknife teleporting around every now and again, because he's having trouble. Here's another sliding wall climb, sort of like I did at the end of Chapter 1. Helps you get over that barbed wire. It's a relatively precise sliding wall climb, but once you have a setup for it, it becomes a lot easier. But we just missed Jackknife's elevator, so we got to go up this elevator. And Jackknife, he does a boo-boo and hurts himself over there. But we're going to find our way around to him. This is where any percent would actually just do what we call a kick glitch directly across the gap. If you've ever seen an any percent speedrun, they do that all over the place. But we do not have that luxury here. Also, we can't go out of bounds. I guess this would be a good time to explain the rule set, because I don't think we've done that. But the main differences between any percent and glitchless are that you cannot do a kick glitch. Kick glitches are when you do a kick on a wall like that, but you actually get a double jump afterwards. So you'll notice after every kick I do, I just have to let Faith fall down. But if you're doing any percent, you get a extra jump, and that gives you a lot of extra distance, a lot of extra speed. One of the other major things you can't do is go out of bounds. That's pretty self-explanatory. You can't...
Yeah, that one's pretty obvious.
Yeah. You can't clip through any floors, walls, or ceilings as well. That enables some skips in any percent. And I think those are the major ones. There are a few other sort of pieces of tech that you just won't see in this run. But yeah, those are definitely the big ones.
Yeah, I called it a Bible of movement tech in the beginning, and it truly is a full encyclopedia of movement tech that this game has to offer. If you ever, we have an any percent segmented run that is minutes and faster than the any percent world record, right?
Yeah.
And that's just because there's so much crazy depth to the movement and mechanics. I compare it a lot to Super Mario 64, which I think a lot of people understand, where there's a lot more going on beneath the surface than you might first anticipate. So it's not worth explaining every little thing that is and isn't allowed, but there is definitely some major stuff that you're going to see in any percent that I think actually can make glitchless interesting in its own right, that we don't get to see it.
Yeah, this whole section actually is another big skip that any percent gets to do and glitchless does not get to do. Saves a ton of time. I don't even know how much time, over a minute probably, over the glitchless route. You can skip this entire section with a sort of chain of kick glitches and movement together, going way out of bounds and hitting a load checkpoint off in the distance. But
I see someone
get to just shoot doors open with guns instead.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there almost. Someone in chat asked how long this game would take. Yep, I saw someone in chat answer. It might take 4 to 6 hours on your first playthrough. Your second playthrough, it's probably going to take you an hour or two. An hour if you're going really fast, you know some of the skips. Probably 2 or 3 hours if you don't. And then Odger has done it enough times that he's probably going to beat it in around between 40 and 48 minutes. Probably 45 to 48 minutes is more accurate.
Yeah, it just sort of depends on how much time you've invested. You can get a lot of time saved for a very small amount of time investment, because there's a number of tricks. Oh, hopefully I don't die here. There's a number of tricks that save an immense amount of time but are not that difficult to learn. A lot of the hard part of this game is sort of just learning how the base physics engine works and movement works, and then you start to learn some of the really hard skips that save a smaller amount of time.
People are absolutely going bonkers in the chat about your gun. Yeah, unlike the sequel that released in 2016, in the original Mirror's Edge, you can carry guns. We often don't because it's slow, but he carries the gun all the way through this level just for the simple fact that he can now shoot this door and keep his momentum, which I absolutely love.
I totally forgot about it, but yeah, you're actually not supposed to be able to keep a pistol with you this long. I dropped it down an elevator shaft, you might have noticed, and then picked it up at the bottom. And that just sort of lets you, you literally just use it to open 2 doors. And that saves, I don't know, half a second, something like that. But it looks awesome, so might as well.
It is all about the swag, though. Mirror's Edge runners, we love flashy skips and cute little time saves like that. So, yeah, definitely, it's more fun than it is a time save, but it is still time save. So, it's nice to see it.
So here, I'm going to do another sliding wall climb combined with another piece of movement tech called a hint climb. And that lets me skip a big part of this scaffolding. Hint climbs are when you want to turn either, like let's say 90 degrees or 180 degrees away from the direction you're facing. And you use the hint key, which is a button the developers put in the game. In case you ever get stuck, that's what you're supposed to use it for. And it sort of points you in the right direction. But we can use that to flip the camera around instantaneously and get some really insane climbs that would be really difficult to do otherwise.
I need to see him again.
If you've played the game casually and you didn't use the hint key, I feel sorry for you. The hint key is absolutely clutch, because this game is a bit of a maze the first time you play it.
Yeah.
And I find that whenever I play it with my friends, or I watch my friends play it casually, that I'm constantly telling them, just hit the hint key, So it's nice that we also get to use it in the speedrun, even though a lot of people probably don't even know it exists. Nice little jump over the barbed wire there to skip a bit of climbing that you'd otherwise have to do. This whole indoor section of Chapter 4, we are in Chapter 4 of 9. This whole indoor section is usually skipped at any percent, and one of the biggest skips in the whole category. We skip like 3 minutes worth of gameplay.
Yeah. You might have also...
Really get to see it. No, go ahead.
You might have also noticed that there are rats every now and again that sort of move past the screen very quickly and out of view. And this game sort of has a fixation with rats. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's pretty fantastic. And you'll see much later on that there's one rat in particular named Scruffy. Actually, I don't know if he has a name, but you know what? I'm going to call him Scruffy. Yeah, you'll see. Faith also, it's also rumored that Faith herself is part rat, but I don't think that's ever been confirmed.
No, I don't know how in-universe that is, but there's some extended comics, some extended lore that you can dive into if you really want to know about the story.
Oh yeah,
this is a
speaking of story, this
Yeah.
man named Ropeburn, I think we skipped the only cutscenes he was involved in. Well, we skipped every cutscene. We can't skip this because this isn't technically a cutscene. But he's fighting us for some reason or other. I don't even know the story of this game, but he's a...
Yeah, we think he was hired possibly as a hitman, or he's at least involved in the framing of a murder that our sister has been framed for, right? So we went to interrogate him, but another assassin actually assassinated him while we were trying to interrogate him. So now we have to go and escape the scene, which is going to be the entire second half of this chapter.
I knew this game had something to do with a murder. Oh, I'm up here.
Oh, that was interesting. I like that.
We gotta ride down the elevator shaft.
Luckily, the game kind of guides you through this. There's no sort of fall damage. You can actually walk off the elevator there without any sort of a falling animation, which is real nice. And continue on your merry way.
Yeah, so this chapter is all about trains. If you like trains, you're going to like this chapter. And this is, I think, really the only part of the game that's RNG in any way. In any percent, the RNG doesn't really matter because you go fast enough that you can skip all the parts that are RNG dependent. But in Glitchless, you're a little bit beholden by the RNG. So if you get a bad train cycle here, you can lose a little bit of time. Between, I don't know, 2 and 6 seconds or something like that. So we just gotta hope that we get a good train.
Yeah, it's also worth noting, although it is random, Audrus probably has a bit of a handicap as well, because he has a pretty good PC, so the train is going to load in just a bit quicker than it might on my PC.
Yeah, so we gotta...
in this case, it actually loaded in quick enough that it almost didn't get in the way.
Yeah, that was a pretty much as good of a train as you can ask for. If it loads really slow there, then you can end up waiting for it and losing some time.
Yeah, and if it loads really slow, you can actually do an alternate strat where you wall boost on the blue wall for the entire duration of that tunnel and keep max speed the entire time. But it's pretty risky, especially in this category.
Yeah. Yeah, in Glitchless, you can't go quite fast enough, so you have to have essentially perfect movement to beat the slowest possible train. Or the fastest possible train, I should say. This train is also a little bit RNG, so... Oh, okay.
You could hear it honking in the background,
Yeah.
but Mitch just sneaked by
Yeah,
it.
luckily I went very fast in the previous room, so just barely got past it. Also, there's a ton of rats in this level. Now that I pointed them out, I'm noticing them more than I would normally notice them. But they're all over the place.
Yep, we have a whole category extensions leaderboard for Mirror's Edge on speedrun.com. We, of course, also have a speedrun.com page for the main categories. On either, you can join our Discord if you want to become part of the community and learn to run the game. But the reason I bring it up right now is because one of the category extensions that I only think a few runners have ran is the All Rats speedrun, where you just find every single rat in the game. So that's a pretty fun speedrun.
Yeah, that one's fantastic.
How long does that one take about?
I think it's like 15, 20 minutes maybe?
Okay.
And more optimized than I
That
thought.
sounds fun.
I have no idea, honestly. I think there's only one person that's ever successfully done a run of it. Could be wrong, but...
Yeah, one of the rats is literally RNG. If we went into the actual level coding, we saw that there's a 25% chance for him to appear. So, bit of a run killer there, but
rat,
you know,
yeah. Oh gosh.
we take it seriously.
Do you actually have to do a full game run, or can you just go to the rats?
No, you just go between
Okay.
rats. Actually, the world record holder, Rexy, is in chat. You can see him talking there. There are 37 rats in total. He gets all of them in 14 minutes, so shout out to Rexy.
That's amazing. Alright.
And that is the end of Chapter 4, coming into Chapter 5 of 9.
Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of death abuse here. This is one of the few death abuse that you do in this category, or in any category of Mirror's Edge. But it's just a little bit faster than parkouring down to the bottom of the streets. This is another section that I sort of did a similar trick earlier in the game, but if you look down, when there's guards next to you, they are significantly less likely to shoot you. I also did a little bit of manipulation of triggers back there, where I went into a trigger and then out of it and then back through it again, and that sort of tricked the guards into shooting me a lot less than they would normally shoot me. And in this room, I'm going to go a little bit slowly because you have to wait for the game to load this elevator coming up, and if you go too fast, it won't load and you'll get soft locked. And that loses an immense amount of time if that happens.
One of the few places in the game where that happens. There's like 3 checkpoints, I would say, where you're forced to go a little bit slower. One of them happened way at the beginning of the game, and then the other is, ironically, the final checkpoint. You have to go a bit slower than you want for the game to properly, execute itself. But here we are in the second checkpoint of Chapter 5. Right here, you're actually going to see him, again, you kind of use the wall run in a unique way. From the wall climb sidestep, you wall climb sidestep, and then from there you can get a wall run, and then from there you can jump off and get a little bit higher than you want, than you normally could. So that's a really cool exploit of some intended mechanics. Here you can actually jump on barbed wire. For whatever reason, they gave it collision if you do a coil jump. So you see him coil jump off the barbed wire there, and again, skip just a little bit of extra climbing you might have to do on the side. Another little exploit here. By doing a very specific wall climb, turn jump in the corner of that elevator shaft, you can both hit the necessary checkpoint, and in the process, you can also skip having to climb up these pipes. There were pipes back in the elevator shaft as well. You can see climbing up them, a little bit slow, a little bit boring, so we skip that whenever we can.
Yeah, sorry, sometimes when you play through this game, you move past sections so quickly that it's a little bit difficult to even get an explanation out of what's happening.
We could literally play-by-play the entirety of what he's doing, right? But there's a little bit of, I think, fun in not really understanding what he's doing and just enjoying the flow, which is an actual, in-game, they talk about the flow that runners see, right? That's why things are highlighted red. It's both an artistic statement by the people that made the game, but also it's allegedly how runners in the Mirror's Edge universe see the world. It's kind of, they see things painted in red and they can see the pathways through the rooftops. So it's nice to kind of just let people enjoy really that flow that Mirror's Edge runners can get into.
Coming up here, we are going to be approaching the mall. Sort of long and winding route that you're supposed to take through it, but we don't want to do that. So we're going to do something called tree strats. Really creative name because you jump onto a tree. We actually don't jump onto the tree anymore. So I guess we call it sign strats because you jump onto a sign instead. But essentially it's just a way of getting up to the upper level of the mall much quicker than you would normally do it.
Yeah, the mall section has gone through so many iterations in both any% and glitchless. There's just so many little, because it's such a vertical section and there's so much collision to jump off and on of, there's a lot of opportunities for skips here, and we found a lot of different skips here. A couple big ones, a couple small ones, but ultimately in glitchless, some of them aren't allowed, and then this version of tree strats that Audrey described ends up being the fastest. So we're actually coming up on the tree now. You can actually see the tree right on camera now, although we're gonna hit the sign right next to it. And then with a couple little clever wall climbs, you can skip past the entirety of a slow elevator ride, and bing bang boom, you just saved 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, bing bang boom. That's how we just describe everything. Because that's way better than
we should
trying to explain the mechanics. Bing bang boom.
Yep, nice little slide into the vent here. We want to slide as far in as we can without having to do a slow crouch walk. Once again, we're going to try to do a side jump off the rail so that we can slide into the vent. Very nice and smooth.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, another thing, I forgot to mention this. A difference between any% and glitchless is you can't skip any of these button press animations. There are lots of animations that you can skip interacting with objects in any%. And that actually saves an immense amount of time in a chapter coming up, because you have to turn a bunch of valves. And it would be kind of nice if we could skip those in that category, or in this category. It's probably the slowest part of this category, but we got to do things the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, you can also hit buttons through walls utilizing that same, we call it the use glitch because you can use buttons through walls and without doing the animation, but unfortunately you're going to see lots of animations in this speed run, which is, you know, for better or for worse.
Yeah, you're going to see them all.
Someone asked if I can say if this is live. Cairo asked if this is live, and no, it's pre-recorded, so I can't say that.
BBGN is a master of predicting comments.
Yep. Coming up here, you're going to see him jump in a very specific way to grab this pole here, or rather jump really close to the pole. I've actually never seen that version of the strat you slide
I know,
on.
I've never used it before.
Okay, well, it worked. Oh, don't die, don't die.
Okay.
And just like that, the reason he did that on that specific section is because it hits a checkpoint, loads that door you can see up in the top left corner of his screen. That door is important because it is literally the next part of the level. We need it to load. So luckily with it loaded now, we can do another wall run kick, survive this fall, and proceed into the factory, which normally we would skip.
That was vengeance, because there was someone in the community that posted an alternative to that skip I almost failed earlier today, and I didn't try it. I should have tried it, because I probably wouldn't have failed it if I had.
Ooh, nice little jump there to skip grabbing the swinging pole in this room. There's a bit of vent steam that they put there to try to deter you from doing this strat, but it literally doesn't stop us. Like, it doesn't get in the way, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think on harder difficulties it might do more damage, maybe. I actually have never tested it, but I would imagine it does. But yeah, you can just literally walk right past it.
Yep, exactly.
So there we hit this button. That opens the conveyor belt, which lets us progress through this level. And this is called the factory, where they produce something or other. They also produce something else other than just objects. PBGN, would you like to explain what they're doing in this facility that we're in?
Wow, very subtle that you don't know the story at all. So essentially, in the last chapter, we went to that mall to try to chase down the assassin that we thought that assassinated the wrestler Ropeburn. The assassin escaped, but we thought they might be involved with this security firm, Parentalo Kruger. We went to their factory here. You can see their little dog head plastered all over the doors and such. And as we go deeper and deeper into the factory, and we go up this really spooky elevator, we actually see, see those guys in front of us? They are parkour cops. This private security firm that funds the city has been training ninja cops to chase the runners through the rooftops. So those ninja cops are bad, and we're going to try to escape them now.
Yeah, I always think it's really funny that these cops are, to a speedrunner, they're actually significantly easier than the normal cops, because the normal cops are much more likely to kill you in many places in the game. For these guys, you just kind of walk past them.
There's a few places where the ninja cops can kind of throw a wrinkle, especially if you're going slow. Yeah. It's probably worth noting that in the PC version, there's a super weird glitch. Even casual players have probably run into it, where once you look at any enemy, your camera will stay locked onto that enemy until you kill him or you really shake your camera off of him. So for the most part, that also deters us from trying to fight enemies, just because we don't want to get locked into a fight with anyone. We want to keep going forward into the level. We're coming up on the end of Chapter 6 here. A few more jumps and then the zip line, and then we'll be into Chapter 7, the boat, which once again is one of those sort of glitchless exclusive levels. We have a skip in any percent that skips the entirety of the boat, but you're going to get to see it all.
We're going on a nautical adventure. Get your sailing hat on.
Do it.
One of the cool parts actually is, in probably one of the most boring sections, is one of the most boring skips. There's actually, when I say boring section, there's actually a truck ride coming up that is a pseudo loading screen. The game puts you into a loading screen briefly while some dialogue plays, and then at the end of the dialogue, it's supposed to start a sequence where the boat where this truck, right, drives you into the boat, and you're supposed to sit in the truck for like 30 seconds while it drives and drives and drives. You know, it's some real immersion into what it's like to wait in the back of a truck. But luckily, we can use the in-game reaction time. We haven't actually used it at all yet, but right here, he just activated reaction time at the end of the dialogue. What that does, that kind of flips the triggers a little bit. It gets things a little bit messed up in the behind-the-scenes script work that triggers the next event. So instead of waiting for 30 seconds for this truck ride to end, it pretty much just ends instantly. Not a very glamorous skip, but it's a good 20-25 seconds. Shout out to, I'm pretty sure that was that Latalis that found that, Audrey? Do you remember?
Yeah, Latalis. Latalis is our resident massive strat finder in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 25 seconds in a section that you would normally just stand there, sort of a blessing and a curse, because you used to be able to like get up and get something to drink, but you know, we take what we can get here. I'm not going to complain about a free 25 seconds.
We love a good time save. Now we're kind of zooming through the interior section. I would say this is notoriously, if you ask a lot of casual players, they'll say this is one of their least favorite levels. And if you ask a lot of speedrunners, they'll also say it's one of their least favorite levels. But once you get it down to a bit of a science, it is really, that whole interior section can be really smooth.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I enjoy the boat, but I don't hate it as I maybe once did hate it. Once there's really like 2 or 3 things you got to know how to do it from a speedrunner's perspective, and the rest of it is kind of just opening valves. But now we're going to do the boat deck, where we are going to encounter a mysterious assassin. And
this is the famed assassin that I've been talking about. We're finally going to take him out, maybe, possibly.
That's possible. Oh, not if I do that.
No, it's fine. A little bit of a ladder here. It's all good.
All right.
So the assassin coming up here, there's a very specific combo that, as long as the assassin does not roll away, we shouldn't have to worry. Oh, perfect. And just do the combo. 2 standing punches, a crouch punch, and then another standing punch. That's just enough damage on easy difficulty to knock this assassin out. Again, one of the advantages of easy difficulty is less hits to kill that enemy. So voila, fight's over.
Yeah, something you might have noticed if you've ever played through this game casually is that enemies, sometimes you'll keep hitting them, and then eventually they'll retaliate and hit you back. You can actually alternate your attacks that you're using. So for example, you can do 2 punches and then a crouch punch, or 2 punches and then like a sliding kick, or a jumping kick, or something like that. As long as you don't do 3 attacks in a row, then they will never retaliate on you. So you can kill any enemy like that.
Yeah, another chase sequence here. Once again, you can kind of get in front of this enemy, but there they go, teleporting in front of us, so not too much we can do here. We're just going to try to get to the end as quick as possible, and then rather than wait for the assassin to catch up to us, in just a minute, maybe closer to 10 seconds, we're going to quit and reload, just to get the level kind of moving faster than having to wait.
Yeah, the assassin is very slow, and we are not slow. There we go.
Yeah, especially with loads removed, this ends up being faster. Although I think it's faster than real-time setting as well, which is
nice. It probably is.
All good. And another same punching animation, alternating 2 standing punches and a crouch punch, and the enemy is defeated. So that brings us out of Chapter 7 and into Chapter 8, the second to last chapter in the game.
Should we spoil who that was?
I don't want to. I'm not going to be spoiling a 13-year-old game. No, no, no. I want people to play it themselves.
I mean, it's not like we're playing through it right now or anything, so...
No, it's fine.
So these are some runner cops. This runner cop, if you go a little too slowly, can actually hit you and mess you up, but if you go just fast enough or you take a wide enough circle around him, he will not hit you.
Someone in chat said that we went from chasing the assassin to him chasing you. And I think that's evidence enough that we shouldn't spoil who the assassin is. For those who have played the game.
So just up there, at the beginning of that chapter, sort of, or 20 seconds in, I did a big jump across a big gap. That's something that can, I don't know, it's very deceptively precise, can mess a lot of new runners up. You gotta have perfect speed and whatnot, and this chapter is actually chock full of difficult sections. This section is another one. We have to do a very precise wall boost to get across this gap. Hopefully I get it first try. There we go.
Whew. Yep, that was probably one of the biggest run killers back when I was really grinding the category, and it still is one of the biggest run killers. It's there's tons of scary strats in this section, and I think the worst part is that there are ultimately no checkpoints in this whole minute-long sequence. So
yeah,
happy to be past that personally. It kind of gave me anxiety just watching it, but you did great.
Yeah, that wall boost can kill you by, if you go too shallow of an angle, you'll hit the barbed wire. If you go too hard, you'll actually fly off the ledge to the left and die. It's just very unforgiving. But right here is the section called the Atrium, and this is definitely, I think it's a lot of people's favorite section. I don't know, maybe I'm putting words in people's mouth here, but I like this section a lot. It's one of the few pure vertical movement sections, and yeah, a lot of really tight movement, and it's also basically identical between any percent and glitchless, except any percent will do a skip out of bounds at the top, where we're going to go through the vent.
I completely agree. And I think one of the coolest parts of it is that it combines what are the two best parts of Mirror's Edge, which are this really cool parkour, right? Like the actual wall running and wall climbing, as well as what is a bit of puzzle platforming and environmental puzzles, which is really, I think, what Mirror's Edge is about more than most people initially think. So it combines that really well in that section. And although it is really confusing on your first go, I think it's really satisfying on a replay, which a lot of Mirror's Edge is much more satisfying on the replay, and Atrium exemplifies that especially.
So,
and we are coming up to the end of Chapter 8.
Yeah. So this section, your sister is in a van up here, and you're going to do the sensible thing and shoot the van's engine, make it crash and spin out, and blow up in a giant fireball on the side of the road. And that's not all this section is known for, though, because we get to meet our friend.
Here we go. This is what you've all been waiting for.
Look at him go.
Oh my god, he's so cute. There he goes.
Bye,
in a game
Scruffy.
that's so serious and so totally just dismal in places, I do love that the giant rat runs across the screen in Chapter 8 and Brian's Holidays.
I mean, there's definitely parts in this game where it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, but the game is definitely set. I totally agree with you. And the game is set in this really kind of sad universe with lots of sad characters all kind of moping around. So it's nice to see a bit of levity in the writing and in the gameplay.
Yeah, but we...
Smooth little checkpoint there. With those pipe jumps, you actually skipped a good 6-7 seconds of platforming.
Yeah. This is actually the last chapter of the game already. Kind of flew by.
Yeah, snuck up on us.
We are in Chapter 9 called The Shard, which is a giant, super tall building that is the home of the Pirandello Kruger's data? Is that what's being stored here, I think?
Yeah, there's just a lot of information. Basically, because the city monitors everyone and everything, there's a lot of data that flows through it, and all that data flows through this building, Shard, which also happens to be the tallest building, which is a nice little set piece here. Surprisingly, our plan of literally just shooting the engine to break our sister out of the prison van didn't work, so she's now been taken to the Shard, and we are going to do our darndest to break her out of the high security location in the whole city. But it's okay, because we run real fast.
Another thing you might have noticed is that, like, sections in this game are very highly stylized, and this is sort of the blue level, and there's, you know, the orange level and the green level, and there's different types of architecture. Here I'm actually I'm gonna count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what was I doing right there? I had done another skip previous in the game using reaction time, our slow motion mechanic, and I did another thing here. I don't have a timer open to see sort of when loading is happening, so I just have I just sort of count it out so I know exactly how long I need to pause and when I need to hit reaction time, and that skips a large chunk of dialogue in that elevator.
Yep, another little waiting section. We can confuse the game scripts by hitting reaction time at the end. So, again, another free 30 to 40 second time save. Love to see it. We are coming up to one of the last 2 or 3 checkpoints here. A bit of a vent section to kind of wind down. Not too much we can do to speed this up other than get some optimal climbing animations. And then there's another section where we have to run through some guards who are going to be sniping us. Probably another one of the RNG sections. Very few of them in the game, but these snipers can kind of mess you up, especially if you're going for the very fastest strats.
Yeah.
I know a lot of runners opt for kind of safer versions of the strats, depending on what pace their run is on, but I'm curious to see what you'll do. Yep, no, you're going the fast way. This man has no fear. So the fully exposed to the snipers along this route, but luckily we've kind of gone past the part where they'll mostly kill you. Then we can use that little bit of a pole here. Yep. Abuse the climbing animations to climb up the pole. And then from there, just kind of snake around the sniper here. He's not too much worry at close range, so that's the end of the sniper section.
So here we just wait for this elevator to load. Takes a second, and we are headed to the last section of the last level.
Take it to the server room. You should be able to get to the top floors and cave
So this last section is kind of a gauntlet of enemies. They throw a ton of enemies at you, all with machine guns. And your goal is not just to run past the enemies. They try to block progression by making you at least steal one gun and then shoot the servers, because for whatever reason, shooting the data servers that hold all the data in the city is also going to open the door to the roof to progress the game, which is super lucky. So you're going to have to see him disarm a guard and grab a gun, but luckily there is one very convenient guard in one very convenient location. We have this down to a science, so we can see Audra just kind of zoom through this room for a moment here. There it is. So the other guards are kind of out of position. They're all taking their scripted paths, and we can snake our way right into there. And there it is. Shot the 4 servers we need to shoot. And we are on our way to the end of the level and end to the game as well. Oh!
A little bit of a scuffed tree
snake
strat
right by
there.
the tree. Very optimal tree strats. You need to do them. Very optimal.
Yeah, so here...
So we are coming up on the end
Yeah,
here.
this is the massive end checkpoint with a ton of dialogue. We just skip it by going out to menu, and time is coming up in just a second when I kick this kick the helicopter rather. We got to go a little slow here. And time. There we go.
Oof,
That's not bad. Yeah,
That is quite a good run.
Very nice. Gosh, thank you so much for showing off Mirror's Edge. That was honestly a treat to watch. Very cool run, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, do you have any like shout-outs or anything else that y'all would like to mention before we wrap it up?
I guess if you're interested in checking this game out from a speedrunner's perspective, check out our Discord. You can find it on speedrun.com/me, and feel free to post in there if you need any help or want to get started.
Yeah, the game will often go on sale for $4.99, both on GOG and on Steam. So really great opportunities to grab it pretty much 3 or 4 times a year. It's only $20 anyway. And then from there, the game has in-game leaderboards as well, in-game chapter runs, and in-game time trials. So there's lots of different ways to speedrun this game. Definitely check out the speedrun.com page, and feel free to ask any questions. We're a very helpful community, so we'd love to get you involved.
Excellent. Well, thank you again so much. Those of you watching, if you enjoyed the run, please make sure you follow our runner at twitch.tv/odurington, as well as commentary for tonight. That was twitch.tv/blackbeltginjaninja. Before we go, I just want to say that information on all of our hotfix shows is available at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. From there, you can find out more info about submitting your runs to any of our weekly shows, including Time Capsule. Tomorrow, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have the Bargain Bin, followed by Speedruns from the Crypt. But that is going to conclude tonight's episode of Time Capsule. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been your host, Smooth Operative. We'll see you next time.